Okay. This will be an interesting one. I don't know how this is going to come out. This will be a challenging one to make look nice. Okay, how big are we going to make this? We're going to make it small. This one's got lots of, I think, blue and green and purple. So let's see if we can, when we just put that colour back in, because we're going to reverse it. So now it's going to be blue for that one. Going here. Just going to warm it up. Okay, all right, let's see what we can do with this one. This one's an interesting one. It's not the greatest looking original, but it could turn out better than I think. Fortune Weekly. I think it's to do with money, or to do with Chinese, to do with Chinese investing. I don't know. I'm not into this shit. I don't know Chinese. I'm not a person who can learn languages, unfortunately. But yeah. We never had Chinese even at school. So when we were at school, Chinese wasn't one of the languages we could choose to study anyway. We had 3 languages: German, Indonesian and French. I don't know why they didn't put Chinese in, because China is indeed a huge manufacturing and business centre. And it just seems silly that we weren't prepared for that back at school. So, oh no, German's good. And so is Indonesian and French. They have their place. But because China is the place where business is done, now this does look really nice. I sort of think that maybe Chinese would have been a better, a more useful language to learn. So we don't do much, I don't think we do much business with Indonesia or even Germany. But basically, it would have been good to include Chinese in our language studies. And I don't think France is a terribly big thing either with us, Chinese, but I guess they couldn't predict. I don't know why they chose those 3 languages instead of Chinese or even Japanese. But I couldn't learn that shit anyway because of my disabilities. So there's no use trying to learn this shit when you just can't absorb it. So I know very little of any of those languages. I never did well at school. I did shit. Of course I did shit. If you've got a disability, a fairly moderate one even, you're going to do shit. You're not going to fucking succeed at your studies. They're too hard. I'm just going to leave the hue on there. Brightness, we're just going to put that in the middle, and maybe we're just going to keep some of the red. But yeah, I can't learn all that shit. So, you know, but it's if you can learn a language, it can be very useful. And I've actually heard there is a health benefit for people who are bilingual or multilingual. I think it counts for multilingual people as well, people who speak more than 2 languages. But for people who speak 2 languages, there is an advantage. Basically, it can help stop Alzheimer's or dementia or something. I read somewhere that if you learn a second language, you can actually ward off or maybe reduce your chances at getting getting dementia. I think it was Alzheimer's or something. So there is a health benefit to this. And unfortunately, I'm just a monoglot, someone who speaks only one language, and that's English. Just English. I mean, English is good to have. I mean, hey, most people around the world have to learn it because it's the dominant language. But still, learning other languages like Chinese, for example, is also very, very useful. So it's very useful to learn Chinese. It's a very complicated language. You just look at those characters and it just spins you out. It just makes you think, oh shit, how do I learn that? Good thing English isn't as difficult as Chinese. I would have been illiterate if I was Chinese. I would have had to deal with being illiterate and not being able to read or write because it's such a complex language for a person with disabilities to learn. So, with memory problems. So basically I'm glad that my parents put me through school a year early, because when you get older your brain becomes less agile and less able to learn things, and I know, and it's good because I don't have many neurons that are responsible for short-term memory and converting short-term memories into long-term memories. So I've got problems, and it's making it hard to learn even more so as an adult. So it made sense to put me through an early schooling to make sure that I could at least master the mother language and mother tongue, and that is English. So at least I've got a reasonably good command of English despite the disabilities I have. But learning another language is a good thing, but it's not something I can do. So it's a shame, but not until I have the technology to fix my broken parts of my brain, then maybe I'll learn almost every language, like my mother's father, my grandfather on mum's side, apparently knew almost every language in the world. So I can do it, but if it wasn't for the quarter on my neck and the breech birth, I would have been able to do it, but not now. Not until the technology becomes available to fix the brain damage. But anyway, got to go.